Welcome back to another episode of Big Classic Talk with my co-host Walter Sellers.
Yo.
My other co-host Rashad Scott, who had a birthday last week.
Happy birthday! He turned 21 and a half.
Plus 10.
Plus 10.
But I appreciate all you guys tuning in. And remember, if you like what we're saying, please like, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment so we know what you guys want to hear. So I want to start this week off with talking about something that's dear to my heart, LLS, which is Lymphoma Leukemia Society. I'm running for Visionary of the Year. You have to be nominated to do that. I was fortunate enough to be nominated for that. We're trying to raise $40,000 for that organization, and I'm running on their advocacy. So what does that mean? Basically, what we're doing is we are trying to advocate for those that can't for themselves, the underprivileged. Two main things determine whether you're going to survive cancer, and that's your zip code being number one and your race number two. And what LLS does for those in underprivileged areas and some of the neighborhoods where, those that are less fortunate, lower income levels, they don't even have the medication available that they need in order to survive and get the treatment they need to survive the cancer. So sometimes people have to travel as much as 2 to 3 hours away in order to get the correct treatment. But clearly, if they're if they're low income, sometimes the challenge can be insurmountable to get to an area where you can even get the right treatment. The money that it takes sometimes with these copays, LLS will go in and write letters to legislation and do things in order to get copays capped, so that insurance companies can't take advantage of the people that are not able to afford the medication. So LLS is doing a lot of good to help those that can't help themselves. They're doing a lot of good to make sure that children aren't getting the same treatment as adults. Unfortunately, the children that get cancer, different types of cancer, sometimes have to get treatment that ruins other parts of their body, their heart, their kidneys, their liver, even causing some brain issues because the chemo is too harsh for their little bodies. LLS was one of the first to jump on a treatment that takes the HIV virus and recreates it so that children are getting less invasive treatments, and now the virus, like it attacks your immune system when its normal strand, recreate it, it's attacking the cancer cells and curing these children. So LLS is one of the first foundations on top of that. So I've seen firsthand, my sister is 10 years survived, and I've seen firsthand a lot of the work they've done, and it would be extremely blessed. It would be a big blessing if you would help. Donate whatever you can donate, because it is making a difference to millions of people, and it would help support treatments, advocacy, a whole lot of different things. So just wanted to put that. There's a link in the bottom in the description that you can click on, and again, be a blessing to someone and donate if you can. Now, back to what we do.
Lakers. Can you say Lakers, bro?
Yo.
Bro.
LeBron looked crazy.
AD
looked crazy. D-Lo looked
crazy.
And
Kuchi Jamera, what's the Japanese dude? Bruh. Stepping on the court, dropping threes like nothing.
Huchimera.
Yeah, bro.
Yes, Rui.
Yeah, bruh.
Rui, yes.
Bruh.
I'm going to tell you, I'm a LeBron junkie. Like, I don't try and compare Jordan and LeBron and all that stuff, because I think he's more like Magic anyway. But to see what he's doing, and obviously as a basketball player, he's an absolutely exceptional. Mm-hmm. One of the best to ever do it. But when you look at the man and what he's done and how he's been in the spotlight since day one, mm-hmm. No trouble. Mm-hmm. Gotten in no trouble, been an outstanding role model. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's actually reading those books he shows up to the interviews with, but either way, he's an outstanding role model for youth everywhere, creating schools, And to see how he's watched his maturation process, from when he was 18 years old to now, it's like, dang, has there ever been a superstar that has continued to build their credibility and never tear themselves down?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like it's awesome to see. And then to see him give that much effort at 38 years old, make no excuses, and just go after
and
it.
just grind.
Just grind, man. I'm telling you, it's been awesome. And Darvin Ham seems to be a really good coach too.
And able to coach around LeBron and AD and that chemistry that they have to forge because they're
Right.
they're too off the ball. Magic, like you said, LeBron's more of a Magic than Jordan. So
Sure.
So in my opinion, LeBron's got 5 or 6 more years if he transitions into a point guard role.
Right. And then you look at it and go, how does a man like that take coaching from someone who's a brand new coach?
Yeah.
Right? And humble himself, not feel entitled.
Right.
Not feel like he's better than the coach himself, to be able to sit there and actually be coached, right? Actually listen and be part of the work. Because at this stage of his career, you could easily say, I understand why he's not playing defense.
Yep.
But the man is playing as hard
And
as
he's
anybody.
hustling.
He is hustling, yes. So, I can't wait to watch him. I think we're in. I don't know when you guys are watching this, but it's Game 4 tonight, right?
Game 4.
Game 4.
Lakers win tonight.
We up 2-1.
Yeah, Lakers win tonight.
It's a wrap. Yeah, we definitely gonna win that series. But and that brings me to, if I can segue. Can I segue?
Segue.
Okay. Why do young athletes? And Rashad, please chime in if you feel like waking up
Young.
Rashad's working out again. He's all in love and everything. And his girl said, "You need to start working out again," because he was out there doing 10 minutes of jump roping and 25 minutes of this and 25 minutes. He's going hard.
Still got 30 after this.
And he's still got 30 minutes when he's done. So he's going hard in the paint, and he might be a little tired. But do you realize why do young athletes who haven't accomplished nothing feel so entitled? Like, there's nothing wrong with having all the aspirations and goals in the world. But if you haven't done nothing, why do you feel entitled?
I think that's what's been fostered.
So, if anything, because y'all are Gen X, so it's not technically y'all's fault. It's my parents' fault and your parents' fault. Right? What year was your dad born?
47.
47. So I think.
Yeah, same
he's a
generation.
boomer, right? I think he's a boomer.
Baby boomer.
Baby,
Yeah. So I'll speak from it in the general sense and tell you how it applies to the sports afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
My generation and the generation under me, we've had conversations. When I started, I was like 26 or something like that, and I was wise beyond my years then, in general, for average people my age.
Right.
So I'm the exception, not the rule. I obviously had my moments. I'm not saying I'm not above being young or whatever. But when I look at other people, it's what what the baby boomers instilled in us of, that's where the participation awards come from, where all this entitlement comes from, of like, you tried, that's good enough. So, no, and again, it's just...
But that wasn't my generation.
No, that's why I say your dad's generation and my mom's generation, because you're the generation right under it.
Right, so I remember my coach was still throwing us down a hill and telling us crab walk up.
Exactly, but that's like you came on the tail end of participation awards and whatnot. Because
there was no participation awards.
That's my point. Where when I graduated in 2010, you graduated in 92 or
93.
93. So that's literally almost 20 years apart. Where
Damn, I'm old.
Yeah. I graduated in 96, so yeah, real old, bro.
So, think about that. It's like participation awards. Say, you tried this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. So, take that over into sports. You didn't come to the stage as best as you did, but you tried. So, you should get something from it. And it's just, that's not how the world works. Unfortunately, apply that to life, work, ethics, and everything. As long as you did enough to get there, that's where some people, perfect example, one of my clients, I think he's 21, 22, said to me, my generation is the best because we're elite. I'm like, huh? Because I'm just trying to understand what he's saying.
Elite what?
Exactly. And I won't try, because you can accomplish anything at any age, so I'm not going to take that way. But I'm like, but what has your generation accomplished? And that's not a jab, that's a real question. And he couldn't give me a real answer. I'm like, I'm not saying you guys don't have the potential to do something, but you haven't even been old enough to do anything.
Yeah.
Because what? The oldest person in your generation, I think, is like 25, 24. Couldn't somebody accomplish $1 million business in that time frame? Of course. Great. But what has your generation accomplished to society? I can say what my generation has, like I said, what your generation has, my mom's generation, my grandmother's generations, because that generation matured in some form or fashion. The oldest millennial right now, I think, is 41.
Yeah.
So,
Well, a lot can be done.
exactly,
Here's
41 years.
Here's the thing. There's only so much shit that can be done, right? You can only remanufacture and rebrand it a certain number of times, right? So even if we just start from how technology has changed from 1900 to today, right? We have a power grid.
Right.
That shit didn't exist.
Sure.
And so then we had a computer.
Yeah.
Then we had a supercomputer.
Yeah.
And now we carry
Yeah.
a supercomputer.
Yes.
Right? You know, technology it's an exponential growth.
And AI is
And
growing like crazy.
And that's the part that changes. We've made life so convenient that when you have to do something hard
Yeah.
or do something consistently,
Right.
it becomes something to be rewarded.
Well, and that's where I get caught up, because no matter what technology comes out with,
Right.
no matter what new educational materials come out,
Mm-hmm.
what science studies,
Mm-hmm.
nothing is going to change in your body without hard work.
That part.
So why, if you're willing to go into this sport and work really hard, do you expect to just be given anything? Like, I want a show. How come I don't have a sponsor? Like, why isn't the mindset of, what are you bringing to the sponsor?
That part.
Right,
Are
like-
you bringing sales?
Like, what are you bringing? Right? Like, and if I have 9,000 followers on TikTok, does that translate into
Dollars.
at least 900 people buying product?
Nope. It'd be 9 people or 90 people
Right,
buying
right.
product.
So, and you know, why is the local gym going to give me a free membership if I haven't? Like, we have, you know, like here at our gym, we give every IFBB pro a pro card. I mean,
What?
my bad. Every IFBB pro a free gym membership. Okay. Why? Because one of the main owners has aspired to be an IFBB pro his entire life, never quite accomplished that goal. So he reveres and has great respect, right? So I guess my point is, if you haven't really accomplished anything, such a pro card, or an outstanding following of hundreds of thousands of people, why would you expect to be given anything?
Mm-hmm.
You haven't done anything that qualifies as exceptional.
Right.
And I think that piece gets missing, because young people come to me all the time. And you know, it's not even young people, so I don't know about the generation thing. It's young athletes. So whether a person is 40, 30, 20, they all think it's easy to get sponsorship. I can get a sponsor. Now,
Think about social media too.
it makes it easy. Right.
like,
Different. Right.
Because some people think they're a sponsor, but they're just an ambassador.
Right.
Or like, hey, here's a product.
Yeah.
I mean, just make sure you tag us.
I mean, Joe, I made that mistake too, right? But at least I got a little money.
Mm-hmm.
But I made that mistake too, you know, because, you know, what's funny is companies know how to prey on the young bodybuilder.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say bodybuilder, I'm including all categories, right? Whether female or male. Because almost every bodybuilder wants what?
Free shit.
Attention.
That's it.
They want attention. They want to be recognized, right?
Mhm.
Like, when you first start training, what do? You wear the tightest shirt. You wear the tank top wherever you go. You know, you want everybody to notice you. It's like when you get a brand new car and you've never had a nice, super nice car, shine that thing up every day. You park it so it's noticeable. Let everybody know. You might let your keychain hang out, right? So people know what you got, because it's new.
Mm-hmm.
It's new, right? And I was the same way when I was 18, 19 years old. Same way. You know, oh, is this going to make me look big?
Yeah, well,
All that stuff.
I have those issues. So, yeah.
Right? All that stuff, right? But, so when a company comes in and says, we're going to put you on our social media, and we got 1 million followers or 500,000 followers, or we're going to put you, and we're going to promote you, we're going to give you free product, we're going to tell people you're on our team. I'll do whatever. Right? It's like, because everybody is like waiting for their time to lie, right? Everyone's waiting for their time to shine and tell people, I use this product. And I just don't understand why people think it's so easy.
They wrong.
Like, do one show and they're like, where's my sponsor? And I'm like, why do you think you ought to have a sponsor? What are you going to bring to the table? You know, it's like, oh my gosh, it just blows my mind how people, how simplistic they think.
And for me, you know, even when I was working for other folks, I'd hire people, and they'd be like, "Why can't I be a manager? Can you manage your schedule, get here on time first?
Right. Right.
Why can't I make $100,000? Have you worked
Right.
to earn $100,000?
Right.
Have you done the work? Do you know what it is to open a business, work your ass off, stay after close, and make more phone calls, make more sales?
Right. Right.
You know, do you have the discipline that it takes to do that over and over and over again, to hear no
Yeah.
over and over and over again before you get your opportunity?
Yeah.
Because until you're willing to do that,
Gotta know your vitamin.
and like we started from the beginning, you know, the young people today, the sense of entitlement that a lot of people have, like they did nothing hard.
Right.
Like you don't know what it is to stay up writing a 15-page term paper.
Yeah.
You don't know what it is
This is very true.
to submit a draft
I just want
for the teacher to send it back. You're like, nah, rewrite this shit.
I just
Yeah.
wanna,
Remember that shit?
I do remember.
just
That's
want
a
to make
good
it
point.
known. Y'all not talking about me.
So I mean, it's crazy today.
Did you have to do that?
I had to write a whole grant to explain why prison systems need to be reacclimated to a labor system.
Sure.
And that was a 30-page grant written.
So, you know, but kids today, like, they gotta do nothing. But one thing I do know,
Google that shit, right?
right? That's it. What I do know is this: is you can't Google your way to benching 315.
No.
You can't Google your way to squatting 405
True.
and deadlifting 595. There's only one way to do it.
Hard work.
And that's what I tell. Oh, Walter, it's not happening fast enough. It is.
Right.
You can't see it. I see you once a week. I can see the difference.
Right.
You look at you every single day. You can't see the difference.
Well, you know, and it's funny because, you know, I'm gonna bring up two people that are pros that I work with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one being Eddie Papiro and the other being Ann Gruber. And the one common denominator there is they both get in crazy shape, but they both never try and cheat the process. Right? Like, if I'm not saying, I know Eddie for a fact never cheated on the diet because that man was, you know, in tears multiple times. I'm not with Ann all the time, but by the way she looks, I would say she is 99% of the time perfect on the diet. But I have a person today come to me and say, it was only a pack of baby carrots. And I said, okay, grand scheme of things, not a big deal. 2.5 weeks out from your show, why do you have the mindset to even want to do that?
That's
Right.
crazy.
Right? Like, is it on the plan? It's not on the plan. So don't do it. Now, is it going to ruin her? Absolutely not. But there's a mindset involved.
That's
there,
it.
right? There's a mindset that says, I am willing to go through the hardest part, the most challenging part, and be perfect so that when I'm on stage, there's no questions.
You know, that's funny. It's today. It's amazing how the universe works. You know, The talk today, I listened to a podcast, and it was talking about discipline, mindset, and winning. It's a discipline is so far. Wanting to win is so far. But until you have the mindset,
Yeah.
until you have the mindset to do the shit that looks crazy,
Mm-hmm.
like I know right now I'm doing 3 on 1 off, 3 on 1 off, 3 on 1 off, and it's working for me because we're getting stronger, and I'm still this 16 weeks out, whatever it's gonna be, and some days I really don't want to go work out.
Sure.
I'm trying to build a different part of a business, and that's taking a lot of my focus off of it. But I know at the middle of the day, end of the day, beginning, some point during the day, I gotta lift because I know that there is some competitor out there
Sure.
doing the same shit that I'm doing.
Sure.
And I can't lose because of that. That's my mindset. I can't lose because I missed a day of training. I can't lose because I didn't eat right, because I didn't do the right amount of calories. I can't lose because I didn't do the cardio, whatever it is. Every box that needs to be checked, I'm going to check it. And that's the difference. Like kids today, I mean, Ozempic, for instance. I was talking about something today. Ozempic is a drug designed for diabetics.
Right.
But when people found out that you can lose 25 pounds in a month,
Right.
they're buying it off the shit from. Fuck the people who got diabetes.
Right.
Let me buy it so I can lose some weight.
Right.
People want the easy shit. They don't want to do what's hard.
Right. I mean, you can see that all the time because anytime you sell somebody the promise of getting shredded, the promise of getting big, the promise of, just being healthier, they're on it.
Mm-hmm.
If they believe in the claim, they're on it, right? But I think what gets lost in yes, discipline is what's going to make you follow through and do everything.
Mm-hmm.
But the mindset is what's going to make you give 100% effort.
Exactly.
Right. So, I can say to myself, I didn't miss one workout the entire prep. But were the workouts quality or were you just getting through them? Right? Because that's two different things. So,
Yep.
yes, commendable you didn't miss a workout.
Yep.
Because a lot of people do. Commendable you ate every meal. Because a lot of people do. But when you ate your meals, were they perfectly measured out?
Mm-hmm.
That's mindset, right? Because you know as well as I do, an extra, right? If you're measuring in cups, it's real easy to not smooth out that cup.
That's right.
If you're doing grams, it's real easy. It's only 0.5 or 1 gram over. It's very easy to do that. And when you're hungry, it's very easy to say, I'm gonna let that slide. As long as it's not gonna hurt me today. The mindset to stay zoned in, the mindset that says, I really want to fucking win,
That's it.
is what's going to keep you from doing those little things.
Yep.
Right? Because you can be it doesn't lack discipline because you took the time to prep all your meals. You took the time to make sure you ate all your meals. You took the time to make sure you didn't miss one workout. You did all your cardio. I posed the way I needed to pose.
Mm-hmm.
The mindset's what's going to make you do everything perfect.
Yep.
And with the level of difficulty needed to make a difference. And that's where the 1% come in that actually win.
That's it.
Right? Because it's real easy to say I did everything. It's real hard. Like Eddie will always say, we made this shit look easy.
That's it.
But that's because his purpose was greater than the sport. His purpose was he figured if I can turn pro, it'll give me a larger platform to push my agenda, which is getting the next treatment for my sons so they can see.
Exactly.
Right? Like that is an unfathomable motivation.
Yep.
Right? Which put him in the mindset to
Just
say
what
whatever it
makes you
takes,
tick.
whatever it takes,
Right.
whatever it takes, right? And I find myself like when I zone in and say, all right, if I can win this, it equates to this for my children. If I can get this, it equates to this for my children. When I can do that, there's no stopping me.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm doing it going, I want to get this workout in so I can look better, not as motivating.
Right.
So like, and I think that's part of the mindset, right? How do you find your why
And make it big enough. Yeah.
big enough right, so that the challenges never matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's that's what I challenge everyone out here to do. Like, it can't just be about getting on stage.
Nope.
Because when it's tough and it's dark, like sure, like wanting to be a pro is a huge goal. Wanting to be a pro is an amazing experience. But why do you want to be pro? Right? Like, is it for financial gain?
Mm-hmm.
Because there can be, like, contrary to what most people say, there can be financial gain, especially in today's market.
Yeah.
Right? Because now, once the podcast talks about you as a pro, the right podcast talks about you, then the world knows you, not just a few. So your
Exactly.
platform becomes bigger.
Exactly.
But hi, Rashad.
I'm listening.
How's it going?
I'm doing tech work.
Tech work. How you feeling?
I mean, if you want to include me on why I wanted to be a pro, just because. And look at me now. I don't want to do it because my business.
You in love?
And my business is way more important.
Yeah. See.
So,
Yeah. So, what made you initially want to be a pro?
just because as a trainer, I'm like, oh look, that'd be great for me to have that on my business card. Why not? But then the fact that I'm having over 50 appointments a week, almost consistently. I think it's at like 42 this week. But the fact that I'm doing that without that, I'm like, oh, it's not that important.
I'm fucking need that, huh?
It's like, yeah, it's cool, I can do it, whatever. The only good part I enjoyed about bodybuilding was my routine.
Yeah.
But am I going to go through another 23-week prep just to do a routine?
No, we can get in good shape and just become a stripper.
Exactly. So, like, the want for me is not there to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do it to get in shape or whatever, but I can do other shit to get in shape too. Like,
Right.
But the want isn't there. And I realized that too. And my girl helped me realize that, saying, you're only doing it because you told people you're going to do it.
Yeah.
And now you feel like you can't back out of it.
Yeah.
So, what you got smart to say about that?
No, I know you want to be like me. It's okay.
Before the close of 2023, nice. Before the close of 2023, I would have a pro card.
Okay. Well, then I need to get on my coaching bike and get this shit going, because I let you down last week, sir. So I need to get on that and get this thing rolling. But yeah. So so
Anybody want to give me a pro card out there? Just let me know so I know not to do in that division.
Yeah. I know. I love it when people come to me and go, well, isn't this such and such a pro? And like, where you can turn pro at like any number of shows throughout the year at any local show. I'm not going to discredit it, because there has to be a place for everyone. But I'm going to discredit it and say what someone told me a long time ago. Where is the steepest competition? So, the MPC has by far the steepest competition. And I remember when I did Mr. America for NABA, and I got the opportunity to be a PDI pro or whatever that they'd started organization.
Mm-hmm.
A person to my life at that time said, "Isn't your goal to be on the Mr. Olympia stage?" Because that was my goal. And not saying that's for everybody. I said, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Then why would you take this pro card? It sounds good, but it's not what you really want. And that's like, I think what people need to realize, like, when you start, like, what do you really want out of it? Like, that's why you get caught up and go, this is so hard. Because if you know what you really want, you would never say.
You would never settle.
You would never settle and go, this is so hard, I can't do anymore. Like, and I hear this from people all the time, like, it's a blessing to be able to do this. Like,
That's it.
You know how many people can't physically do it because of injury, because of health? Like, I had a woman, that I know today, like, she was getting ready for a competition and she had a mini stroke. Like, that's not something that was preventable. That's something that she had impending, and something in her body triggered it through her training, right? And the thing is, she wasn't personal training with me, by the way. But I'm just saying, like, or with someone. It just happened. But the point is, she would love to have the opportunity to do her competition.
Mm-hmm.
And she was getting ready for a strongman competition. She would love the opportunity, but that's taken away from her, just like that. And oddly enough, that's what happened to me, right? When I got that wrist injury, and I was like, "Holy shit, this can be taken away from me." You know, it's like as adults, where they say you got to experience some sort of pain or something that is really impactful on you in a negative sense for us to really change the way we think.
Me tearing my ACL is why I'm here. So
What?
me tearing my ACL is why I'm here. So
I got a client right now. He was in a car accident, flipped over his truck 2 years ago. And I was fortunate enough that he reached out to me, and I'm helping to get him back now. He's been cleared by the doctors. Got our first leg day. You know, it's funny. You know, all the physical therapists and everything in the whole wide world are going to tell you to do one thing.
Right.
Do this, do that, whatever it is. Do what they tell you to do. But when you want to make muscles again, come see somebody who knows how to make muscles.
Right. Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
His first text after our session the other day, Walter, is it normal to have pains in my ass? Yeah, you did squats, bro. you did squats, bro. That's what happened. He says, because I haven't felt these muscles in 2-3 years. Well,
absolutely. I had a client today go, he's like, I got a friend. I said, God damn, Fred, you're here and it's been, we did legs last Thursday. It's Monday. Still feel like you're right here. You know, I said, well, you worked hard, you know. And his thing is like, what's crazy and what I love about training is this. Even being that I've been training for 20 plus years, and this is universally for anybody, all you got to do is change a variable.
that's it.
And it's like you never trained before. It's hard all over again.
Yep.
It's like, you know, I squat, you know, everyone comes in and I squat heavy. And if you squat heavy 6 weeks and then throw a day in there where you like go crazy on repetitions, your legs will be destroyed like you did legs for the first time in months.
Yeah, I look, I'm beginning to change a little bit of how I train because I trained the same way forever.
Right.
You know, and I feel like it felt to me like I was starting to plateau. So now I've been doing some 5x5s and 7x7s for different exercises. This weekend I did 5x5 with 365 on the bench.
Nice.
And it was hard as fuck.
Yeah. So how do you normally train?
Normally, I'm a hypertrophy pyramid guy. So I'll start with if just use bench for example. Bench, I'll start with 12 reps to 225, then 12 reps to 275,
Right.
then 8 to 12 for 315,
Yeah.
then 335,
Right.
like that. And then after I get to the top set, normally 3 or 5 reps, then I'll come all the way back down to 225 and
Right.
just flat
So
out
you
commit again.
regress the pyramid the other
Yeah.
way? Okay. So instead of doing some volume in there that's not necessarily doing a whole lot except warming you up,
Right.
you've got 5 true hard work
Right.
sets.
And I'm telling you right
So
now,
that's a big difference.
bruh, I did chest on Sunday,
You're still feeling it.
bruh.
Yeah, I mean you will feel a difference in your thickness from that too. But yeah, I mean that's true because you know like for me, I don't typically pyramid back down, but I'll do 2 hard, really hard sets. But yeah, if I was to go back into like a power style training where you're doing the 5x5s or the 5x3s or something like that, it's like one, your nervous system has to adapt. A whole lot more adaptations, almost more adaptive with your nervous system than it is muscularly, right? Because it's like that high demand to focus and recruit all those fibers
Right.
over and over and over again, right? As opposed to doing a weight you know you can handle
Exactly.
and just trying to feel the muscle work because it's a much different stimulus. And I think everybody should throw that in a few times a year, you know,
Yeah.
even if you're not trying to power lift or whatever,
Right.
because it allows you to get more consistent with working with heavier weights for when you go back to your hypertrophy phase.
Exactly.
I think that's where bodybuilders a lot of times fall short, is because they're not progressively overloading, right? Because, you know, they'll, look at it and you go, 315 is strong, 365 is strong, 405 is strong, but when is the last time you tried to even do 10 pounds more than what you've done before,
Exactly.
right? Because you're training, because and this is why I laugh about bodybuilding. It's like, I train instinctive.
What the
Fuck's that mean, right? I train instinctive.
I never heard that before.
And, you know, like, the reason why, because there have been very good bodybuilders that say that. But you got to take in a couple things. One, nutrition is a big part of that. Two, they didn't train like that to get that level of size. They train like that now.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're trying to get that level of size, you have to be watching your numbers
Yeah.
so that you can push them forward.
Yep.
Right? Like, I used to keep a journal when I was coming up, and probably all the way until I got injured in 2000, or I got sick in 2016. I keep a journal and always look at the numbers I was doing, because some days you're not going to feel like training, but you want to still make sure you're progressing forward.
So, true story. In my app that I use, shout out to my app, Trainer Us. In my app that I use, I track my workouts and
Trainer Rogue's better. Go ahead.
and you enter in, you know, what you trained with, what your reps were, and every week you can track it. And then what I do with my clients, even myself, I'll take a 6-month block, analyze. All right, they went up this week, down this week, up this week, up week, up. What happened here, and is it consistent? Is there a pattern?
Right.
So I use that, since the majority of my clients are women.
Right.
I use that to track what the cycle is.
Right.
Then I can adjust the workouts according to the cycle, so that I can make sure that we're maximizing every opportunity we had.
Right.
You know, so don't just train instinctual. Train with the purpose, go with the purpose.
Right.
Stay on your track and listen to your coach, man. Don't just do some bullshit.
Oh my God. I just had that, yeah. I mean, jeez. Well, I read this, or well, I looked at this. Like, look, there are so many different ways to get you to that goal to look great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but you got to pick one and stick to it. You just can't just keep flipping around.
And that's what I try to tell everybody, bro. It's consistency. It's the water in the rock.
Yes, man.
It is the water in the rock. You can't out train a bad diet. You can't pick the right program. There is no such thing.
Yeah. I mean,
There is no perfect program.
So funny.
Everything is different.
You're so right. So right, because everything. What is the main objective of your body? Rashad.
Survive.
Boom. And to stay where?
What?
Comfortable. Homeostasis, right?
Right.
Like, your body's goal is, what do I need to do to stay in homeostasis?
That's it.
Right? Because the body is trying to keep you protected and keep you comfortable.
Exactly.
Which is why
That's what your mind is telling you. That's right.
when you go after new goals, your body, you hear things in your mind like, don't do that, it ain't gonna work. It's not, because your mind is trying to say, you're comfortable where you're at.
Yep.
That's a new challenge that's gonna be a little bit scary, right? So it tries to protect you.
Yep.
Same thing with lifting. Same thing with diet.
Yep.
That's why when you're dieting for a show and you get to that certain level of body fat, you start to feel worse and worse and worse.
Tired, sleepy, cold,
Lethargic.
feet hurt when you walk.
Oh man, can't sit on shit because you
Bruh,
ain't got no
ass
fat
hurt.
in your ass. All that stuff, right? Like, wake up, everything's tight. Oh my God. But the reason why is because your body's like, you're not at a point of homeostasis. So you are so far off of that. What can we do to push you in that direction? You need that burger.
Mm-hmm.
You need that peanut butter. Why does every competitor out there crave peanut butter?
The fats.
The fats.
Right?
It feels good. Our brain has that mechanism for that good, and it's got the sweet, salty, and fat. It's all three in one thing.
Shit, man. You sound like a
Scientist?
the Food Network. You're so right? So your body's trying to push you there, and then people give into that. And once you give in once, you can bet your life you're going to give in over and over again. So if you're dieting for a show, don't give in. Be tough, because if you can last that 15 to 20 minutes and not give in,
you're fine.
You'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. You'll be able to walk away and go,
And
and the more times you walk away and resist that craving, the easier and easier it gets. You won't even be thinking about it anymore.
That's a fact.
You won't even be thinking about it anymore.
What's interesting is it's just like anything. Like, I'm hyper-focused and been hyper-focused on adding a certain piece to my business. When I tell you every day a different distraction will pop up.
Yeah.
I got a text, one of my clients is a real estate investor. She texted me, Walter, in Delaware, I just saw the posting from HUD there are 150 homes in Wilmington right now that they're selling, and the opening bid is $1.
Wait a minute, brother.
Opening bid.
That might be a good distraction.
But I'm focused on
Wait a
spending
minute,
more money on something else right now.
Wait a minute, you ain't just gonna slide that in there.
But-
We're gonna have to revisit that after
But
this.
the point is that it's something that's not focused on what my goal is.
Yeah.
You know, there is opportunity that I didn't even tell anybody about because it was something I was going to take.
Right.
You know, they're looking for someone to be the facility trainer at the Hotel Del Mar in the Dominican Republic.
Wow. Yeah.
And one of my clients, her husband, is the casino manager there.
Yeah.
And reached out. Walter, this is a great opportunity. How much does it pay? 65 grand. 65 grand.
Yeah.
But you live in a hotel and you get free food.
Yeah.
It was tempting for about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's
You know me, I have
not,
too many kids for that.
it's not my goal though, right?
No.
It's not what I want.
No, I feel you. And, you know, my father told me, my dad has had a successful business for years. And I remember I used to bring all these ideas to him because I would get them when I was in college. People would bring ideas to me. And he would say, here's what you got to understand. If it's not real estate, it's not insurance, I don't do it, I don't touch it. And what I realized is every time I try and diversify outside of fitness, it takes my attention away from the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I do something involving fitness, it enhances. So, you know, and I've just made it my point, like if it doesn't have something to do with fitness, which I know I'm good at, then why do it?
That's it.
Right? Like, because there's so many revenue streams you can create within fitness.
Yep.
So it's just a matter of exploring and staying within opportunity. So it's the same thing. If it's not going to enhance
Mm-hmm.
you as an athlete getting ready for a show, don't do it. If it's not going to be advantageous or support you in your desire to get in better shape or whatever fitness journey you're on right now, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because all the distractions will come up when you're doing your best doing your prep or doing your, even your lifestyle people.
Yep.
You know, well, I got this event and I got this holiday. Like, you got to be able to wipe all that out because none of that matters. Because you know what?
It.
There's always going to be an event. There's always going to, especially successful people, right?
That's
like
it.
people that have influence on others.
Yep.
You're always going to have something
Always.
that you need to attend, that somebody wants you at. You need to be able to say, I can go to this event, bring my food,
And they'll plate it for me when the shit comes up.
or I just walk out to my car and eat it real quick and come back. Like, either way,
Yep.
you have to be disciplined enough to say, I'm doing this because, and the why has to be big enough to stick to it.
Yep. Just stick with it.
Right. Like, I had this girl hit me up, and she says to me, what do I do if I run out of egg whites? And I said, and I didn't even answer the question. I simply said to her, when we talked about being disciplined, it also includes this. You're not always going to want to go to the supermarket and get what you need to get. You're not always going to want to look and make sure the night before that you have what you need.
Mm-hmm.
But the average person in America is what?
30% overweight.
Boom. So we don't want to be like the average, and you have a desire to be better, then we got to do what most people aren't doing. And that means you always stay prepared,
Facts.
right? So, like, it's not even answer the question. Do we really need to talk about what you do if you don't have egg whites? Because you're always going to have egg whites. Oh, I mean, what if what? Like, are you ever going to run out of toilet paper in your house? No. So if you never run out of toilet paper, why you run out of egg whites?
Yep.
Right?
It ain't hard. There's certain things when you're in this lifestyle you're just gonna have. You're gonna have egg whites, chicken breast, ground turkey, sirloin or ground beef, and broccoli and asparagus. It just was gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, you can do vegan though, right?
Yeah, you
But the
eat
point-
a little more food, but yeah.
But what's going to always happen is you're always going to have a point where you know you got to be regimented,
Right.
or you're not going to be successful. So
That's
that's
it.
really what we're saying, right? Like, you're all like, even if it's not just chicken, egg whites, it's not going to be a free for all,
Precisely.
right? Because here's the thing, when you look at companies that say you can eat whatever you want, you can if your goal is not to worry about how much lean body mass you're carrying.
Bingo.
Your goal is if you're not worried about how much inflammation and you're trying to create in the process, because we're trying to stay lean forever
Right.
by increasing muscle tissue. We're trying to stay healthy by keeping blood sugar consistent and low. Right? We're trying to make sure your body has a reason to maintain healthy levels as much as possible of testosterone, of IGF, right? Because those things mean your lean body mass is staying consistent, which means your resting metabolism is going to be higher.
Bingo.
Right. So, yeah, but crazy.
It's just, you know, I just find people are always looking for the easy way to do this shit. And there is no easy way to lose weight.
Hell no.
Right? Without a scalpel, there's no fast way.
Even
Then you
that's
got
not
recovery. Right? Then you got
that's not
recovery.
easy, man. Because
Right.
you know, like I've seen people get that done,
Yep.
and it is a disaster
It can be.
when they don't know how to eat. Because all of a sudden they're like, man, I got rolls up on my upper back. Like, where'd that come from? Because your body's not stored it where they took it out at anymore. But you have a predetermined number of fat cells,
That's it.
and your body can grow more.
That's it. You
Yeah.
just got to figure out if you know my what I tell my clients. You know, I can't tell you what to do. You want to spend the money and go get this shit done. Go do it. You want to take the drugs. Go do it. I can only tell you this: the recidivism rate. I said that right. The recidivism rate is over 60%
Yeah.
for people who get weight loss surgery, weight loss procedures, drugs. 60%. So you can put your body through all this bullshit, whether it's drug, surgery, gastrointestinal lap band, all that shit. To have a 60% chance
Yeah. Yeah. Sit there and
and gain it all back, and then make it even more difficult to lose it again.
Yeah.
Versus, in the amount of time it's going to take you to recover for no surgeries, if you can stay disciplined for doing your workouts and your diet, you'll lose the same amount of weight.
yeah, or damn close to it, right?
That's what's crazy. I have a client, she lost 130 pounds now. She's down 130 pounds.
Yeah.
And we still got to lose another 100. But the fact that she stuck with it, she says she'll never go back
Yeah.
to lose to over 300 pounds.
You know what? She won't though, because what's happening is she's losing it at a rate that's not crashing.
It's sustainable. 10 pounds a month.
Exactly. She's sustaining it, and she's consistently changing her mindset
Yep.
as she's dropping the weight.
Yep.
You know, because it's like this: if I give you a car, you're not going to take care of it.
Bingo.
But if you had to work really hard for that car,
Facts.
you're going to take care of it.
That's right.
And it's the same thing. So, yeah. But I think it's Laker time.
It's Laker time.
It's Laker time.
We have a short session today, folks, because we both Lakers fans over here.
Absolutely.
And
we're trying to watch
and
this
we trying to watch this game.
No, but
We might do a little reaction video to the Lakers win
Right.
tonight.
but you know, the takeaway from this is this. You know, like number one, it's not just about motivation. Motivation is good to get you started.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about discipline, because the discipline will make sure you're doing all the right steps. But it's got to be about that mindset, and that mindset comes from having your why strong enough to make sure that you can lock in and be relentless in your effort to achieve what you're trying to achieve. Rashad Scott, Walter Sellers. Remember, like, subscribe, drop a comment,
below.
please. And again, if you liked it, let us know. Peace.
Peace.